ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force stepping up its recruitment exercise. A brand new fleet of fire trucks on the way to boost the country's emergency response. In sports, a local basketball star returns home not just to play, but to give back. We'll take you courtside at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium for a tournament with heart. The Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition starts now. Glad that you can join us. Good evening and welcome to the broadcast. In the aftermath of a global pandemic that brought the Bahamas' tourism-dependent economy to its knees, the road to recovery has been long and far from easy. But tonight, the government says a tide is finally turning. The Minister of Economic Affairs admits a financial toll of the COVID-19 shutdown was steep, ballooning the national debt and shattering businesses across the country. Yet, with cautious optimism, he says a new chapter is unfolding, one focused not just on recovery, but resilience. Amaya Moss has tonight's top story.
In the wake of the global COVID-19 pandemic, the Bahamas continues to navigate the long road to economic recovery with a focus on rebuilding stronger, more resilient foundations for the future. At the helm of these initiatives, Minister of Economic Affairs Senator the Honorable Michael Haukitis acknowledged the difficulties the nation faced during the pandemic as a tourism-reliant economy, but emphasized that the outlook is showing signs of steady improvement.
As you know, our economy, being a tourism-based economy, was devastated by the shutdowns related to the pandemic. And as the pandemic waned and we had the economy open, we had to face the results of a lot of debt that had been incurred because with the revenue largely based on tourism and that having dried up during the pandemic, the government was forced to borrow large sums of money to support its citizens. I would describe the state as on a positive trajectory, growing positively, albeit we would, of course, love to see even stronger growth, but we are very, very encouraged about the rate of growth in the economy.
Minister Haukitis outlined strategies aimed at easing the burden on businesses, encouraging entrepreneurship, and fostering new industries beyond the country's traditional economic pillars.
We have to continue to promote a stable environment that would attract individuals who want to come into the Bahamas and invest, but we also need to make sure that we make it easy for Bahamians who want to invest and to indeed make sure that concessions and opportunities, financing, training, access to markets, all of those things are available to Bahamians. And so that speaks to diversification of the economy.
As the Bahamas rebuilds in the aftermath of the pandemic, the nation's recovery efforts serve as a reminder that resilience is not just about restoring what was lost, but creating new opportunities for generations to come. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Amaya Moss.
Amaya Moss on the story tonight. Well, Monster Storm Dorian flatlined two major islands and racked up restoration costs in excess of $3.4 billion. The establishment of the Disaster Risk Management Authority was, from its birth, intended to use lessons learned to better prepare officials on their responses before, during, and after a major storm. Tonight, as a country and the world remembers Hurricane Dorian, we also give a spotlight to a local agency designed to better protect our people and our land. Lloyd Allen reports.
September 1st marks the annual event that changed Bahamian history for a lifetime, the impact of Hurricane Dorian, specifically on the islands of Abaco and Grand Bahama. Now, since then, a number of changes have taken place, specifically regarding the Disaster Risk Management Authority. Helping us to understand those changes is the Managing Director, Aaron Sargent. Aaron, tell us about what has changed.
So what has changed is the authority has moved aggressively, and while we note note that today is the anniversary of the passage of Hurricane Dorian. We know that with compassion to the lives lost, the devastation that was suffered on both Grand Bahama and Abaco, what has changed is precisely what we see here today. The authority has been established, the Disaster Risk Management Authority has been established, outbirth out of the lessons learned from the passage of Hurricane Dorian. Those lessons include some of the things that we have built ourselves and pride ourselves on the work that we do here is the proactivity in planning, sustainable funding, and cross-sector intergovernment collaboration in the work that we do. In terms of planning and proactivity in planning, the authority has moved swiftly in terms of developing its national disaster emergency plans, its protocols, new protocols that we're now introducing into our disaster management space, collaborating with various stakeholders, local government, family island administrators, and to kind of put all of that into perspective. One of the big initiatives that we've undertaken is to expand our National Disaster Readiness Exercise Program, which commenced in June of this year, and we've expanded it to the Family Islands. And this year, the exercise not only took place in New Providence, but we expanded to 5 major islands: Inagua, Abaco, Andros, Exuma, Cat Island. And the goal behind that, again, is proactivity in planning, building capacity with our family island administrators so that they have the ability and capacity to manage at their local levels while we provide them with the guidance and capacity to respond to these natural hazards.
There's much trepidation among the Bahamian public regarding this season. What advice can you offer to them?
As we are in the peak season, the peak period of hurricane season, I encourage residents to visit getready.gov.bs. It's a free resource that we have, and that's getready.gov.bs. And it allows you to see where your shelters are, what to bring to a shelter, what resources you need in terms of food, water, supplies to protect yourselves during times of disaster. And again, the goal here is to stay ready, to stay prepared.
Reporting from the Disaster Risk Management Authority Office for the Bahamas tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Well, Lloyd, thanks so much for that update. With continued threats on land and sea, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force is ramping up its recruitment initiative, but this time is not just about grades, it's about skills, as the Royal Bahamas Defense Force launches its latest intake exercise next week. Commodore Floyd Moxie says the force is revisiting its entry requirements, opening the doors for young Bahamians with hands-on training in areas like diesel mechanics, electronics, and small engine repair.
We are looking for persons with certification in diesel mechanics, small engine repair, communications, radio electronics. And so if persons come to us with those qualifications and they may come up short on 1 or 2 of the BJCs, they'll definitely be considered. And that is what I mean when I say we are reviewing this Defense Force instruction, and we are amending it to make it more relevant to the training that our young people will be acquiring once they come out of school.
And when it comes to the role of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, the Commodore says it is a key part of the country's defense, also protecting its territorial integrity.
We patrol the waters of the Bahamas. We work in conjunction with other law enforcement partners. We are there to assist in times of natural disaster, and that is something that we take very seriously. We invest a lot of training, a lot of fun into disaster and recovery. In fact, we are researching another disaster and recovery ship to complement the Lawrence Major, which is our primary disaster and recovery ship.
New fire trucks officially on the way. The Public Procurement Board giving the green light this week, moving the country one step closer to strengthening its emergency response fleet. Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, says he signed the cabinet paper with the hopes, no matter what make cabinet's agenda next week, that approval comes after huge fires in the capital, Grand Bahama, Abaco, and other islands in recent months. One inferno in Abaco last month, claiming the life of a 12-year-old boy. In addition to the trucks, Minister Monroe says there will also be a need for fire sheds to house the vehicles.
For instance, you don't want a ladder truck, as happened in Grand Bahama, where it may not be able to be accommodated in a shed. And so the Public Procurement Board was interested in knowing, and the financial secretary specifically, that we're not going to be spending money and leaving these things out in the element. And so you might have heard that there's a proposal to build a new fire shed in police headquarters. And we had a meeting over that, I think it was yesterday, and hopefully that will commence shortly to accommodate the apparatus that are going to be there, the men, because firemen sleep at their fire stations.
No, Minister Monroe could not say offhand how many trucks will be purchased and the final cost, but previously shared government was looking to purchase 21 fire trucks with a price tag of approximately $15 million. Along with firefighting equipment, he says the Davis administration has been engaging more firefighters.
And we've also, as you may know, recruited fire officers from the time we got in office. And in the current squad, there's an F squad of fire officers also in that squad. So while we're acquiring the equipment and looking at building the structures to protect them, we're also recruiting the manpower to man and operate the equipment.
The news from the crime beat: a violent altercation on Saturday afternoon has left a 52-year-old woman hospitalized in critical condition. According to reports, police officers were called to White Lane off Kemp Road shortly after 2 p.m., where they found the woman suffering from multiple stab wounds. She was rushed to hospital by ambulance. Reports suggest the incident stemmed from an argument between the victim and another woman. That confrontation escalated, and the 52-year-old was stabbed several times about the body. A 41-year-old woman was arrested at the scene in connection with the attack. Investigations continue. Well, still to come, the University of the Bahamas hits a historic milestone. That and more when we come back. The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture advises all Junkanoo groups intending to participate in the upcoming 2025 National Junkanoo Parade throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas to complete registration with the ministry no later than Friday, September 12th, 2025. Seed funding distribution will take place on the following dates: New Providence, Friday, September 19th, 2025. Grand Bahama, Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. Eleuthera, Saturday, September 27th, 2025. Exuma, Monday, September 29th, 2025. Abaco, Friday, October 3rd, 2025. All other family islands, the week of October 6th, 2025. The ministry thanks all Junkanoo groups for their continued dedication to preserving and advancing our cultural traditions. The University of the Bahamas' fall semester 2025 already setting records. Preliminary figures show that for the first time, UB's total student enrollment has surged beyond 5,200 students, even more than the total enrollment pre-COVID-19. That momentum is buoyed by steady growth at UB North and Grand Bahama of approximately 500 students and an uptick in applicants nationwide. The last time total student enrollment exceeded 5,000 was fall 2013. International student enrollment is also climbing this fall, with the largest group ever of 12 exchange students from Norway, Denmark, Spain, Germany, France, and Sweden studying in various academic disciplines. For spring 2026, partner universities in Japan, Switzerland, and Finland have nominated their students to spend a semester or year at UB, far ahead of the university's October 31st nomination deadline. In turn, 4 UB students are studying abroad in Canada, Spain, and Switzerland. UB has active partnerships with more than 60 tertiary-level global institutions. Switching gears tonight, the Bahamas and Cuba have shared deep diplomatic ties for over 50 years, and today that relationship remains strong, from regional cooperation to the quiet lives of Bahamians living there. Ambassador Dr. Elliston Ramming offers a rare look inside our connection with our Caribbean neighbor. Felicity Dovell has more.
His Excellency Dr. Elliston Ramming reveals a bit about the activities of Bahamians in Cuba.
We've got about 20 Bahamian students in Cuba, all of whom are studying in the medical sciences. Church leaders and their parishioners coming very often to give out parcels of over-the-counter drugs, pharmaceuticals to Cubans, clothing sometimes, and invariably they stop at the embassy. We have approximately 30 to 40 Bahamians who come to Cuba every time Bahamas Air comes. Many of them, I would say most of them, come for health-related reasons. We have about close to 30 prison inmates in Cuba serving very long sentences. And so we advocate on their behalf. We visit them on a monthly basis. And then we try and drum up trade between the Bahamas and Cuba. Right now, there is no marine transportation, and that's an inhibiting factor. But there's a very serious trade via Bahamas Air in terms of handicraft items.
And despite what those who have never visited Cuba may think, Dr. Raming says it's a happy place.
If I were to look conversely, I would say there's a lot of happiness here. Because if you take the average Cuban, the average person you see working in a restaurant or at a hotel or in a shop, despite what they may be going through, there's almost universal happiness. It's good to be in a place like Cuba. It has its inherent challenges as everywhere else, but on balance, it's a good way to serve one's country.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
The newly appointed British High Commissioner to the Bahamas, Amita Rossetti, paid a courtesy call on Governor General Dame Cynthia Pratt at Government House on Tuesday. The meeting was marked by warm smiles and gracious exchanges. Their interaction underscored the spirit of diplomacy and mutual regard that has long defined relations between the Bahamas and the United Kingdom. Rossetti, who officially assumed her post August 22nd, 2025, will lead the UK's diplomatic mission in Nassau, continuing a partnership that has proven both historic and beneficial for both nations. In a role as a representative of King Charles III, Rossetti's visit to Government House was her first formal introduction to Governor General Her Excellency Dame Cynthia Pratt, who warmly welcomed her. They have established an important connection that will bode well in the continued development of relations between the Bahamas and Britain. Well, the Bahamas Alzheimer's Association marking the start of World Alzheimer's Month by shining a spotlight on caregivers, hosting a special event Saturday to honor their role in supporting loved ones with the disease. Association President Wendy Poitier says that the event not only gives caregivers some much-needed TLC, but also focuses on breaking the stigma surrounding the disease.
We know how important caregivers are. They are the ones who are taking the brunt and the burden most of the time of caring for the patients, those persons with Alzheimer's and dementia. And so today we are just, showing appreciation to the caregivers. And once persons know and they are aware, educated about the disease, then that will help to reduce the stigma, and we are looking for an elimination of the stigma and having dementia-friendly societies.
Well, partnering with the Rotary Club for the third consecutive year, Rotarian Dr. Satya Budul says that the organization is not only renewing its commitment to this initiative, but expanding its support to even more community-driven efforts in the future.
There's no stopping us now. We have been having a good turnout every year, and it just gets better and better. So we look forward to the years to come to continue to partner with the Alzheimer's Association with more events like this. Caring for the caregivers, we're also participating in their upcoming walk this month, as this is Alzheimer's Awareness Month. So we plan to partner with them this month and in the years to come.
ZNS Total Sports is up next. Stay close.
Welcome to your Saturday Sports Check. I'm Eugene Stewart. NBA player Kai Jones hosting the inaugural One-Up Cup basketball tournament at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium. The free tournament allowing junior high school boys to showcase their talents and to seek future opportunities within the sport.
It's just the beginning, and I want to do events like this as much as possible. I want to go into one-on-one tournaments, two-on-two tournaments, just strictly three-point shootouts, and also have camps and clinics where kids who didn't get the opportunity and they want to keep growing, they can come and train and get some work in here with the videography, the same setup, and, we can live stream it and, continue to make them superstars that they are. And so everybody knows their name. I want everybody to know these guys. I'm going to be speaking to everybody that I know about this, and I'm going to be sending it to everybody I know. So right now the focus is to get them on the school, and right now the focus is to help them get to college and show them what it's like to work hard and just have fun and take it one step at a time, because there's so many things that you can get out of basketball from an education standpoint, just to see the world and travel. So yeah, the NBA is the goal for, I know, a lot of these guys, but it's not the only thing that this brings. This brings them exposure just as a brand, as a person. Some of these kids may want to do music, some of them may want to get into acting, but this is just a way for them to keep building a name for themselves, you know what I'm saying? So I'm super proud of the guys, but yeah, this is just the beginning for sure.
In track action, the University of the Bahamas Mingos Athletics kicking off this year's competition yesterday with 2 cross-country teams at the Kaiser University Flagship Invitational. On the men's side, Levine Joseph was finished with his best time in the 5K for the men's team. Joseph placing 38th out of 72 competitors with a time of 18 minutes and 1/10 of a second.
The plan was to run more comfortable than usual. I didn't want to get out too fast and then ending up, not being able to finish towards the end. So it was a good race. I think it was a good race.
And for the women, newcomer Bernicia Nelson led the team with a time of 25.007 seconds for the finish in the women's 5K.
It was kind of rough for my first time because I'm still getting used to running long distance, like running cross country on the whole. But during the race, I started off with the crew. They pulled away. I kept going. As I went on, I passed a lot of other females, and I just kept going.
And that's been your Saturday Sports Check. I'm Eugene Stewart. Enjoy your weekend.
Time now for a check on tonight's weather forecast. Forecaster Diane Dorsey joins us in studio with the latest temperatures. Good evening, Diane.
Good evening, Desmond. Let's start in the tropics. The tropical wave in the far eastern Atlantic, which just a few days ago was showing promising signs of developing, is now struggling. It's running into some upper level sharing, and because of that, the Hurricane Center has lowered its odds to only a 30% chance of development as it continues moving westward. Now closest to home, a stationary frontal boundary near the central Bahamas will drift back over the northwest Bahamas tomorrow, and that will bring periods of showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. Now taking a look outside our studios this evening, we're seeing a temperature of 88 degrees, partly sunny skies. Winds are east-southeast at 6 miles per hour. Humidity is at 67%, and pressure is standing at 30.02 inches or 1,016.4 millibars. And around the Family Islands, temperatures are holding steady at 82 in Freeport City, Green Turtle Key, and Allenstown, Bimini. 86 in Pollux Harbor, 88 in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, 85 in Fresh Creek, Central Anderson, Harbor Island, 84 in Roxton, Eleuthera, 87 in Camp Space, South Andros, Black Point, Exuma, Arthurstown, Kid Island, San Salvador, and Rum Key, 91 down there in Georgetown, Exuma, and the 4 southernmost islands, Clarence Sound, Crooked Island, and Ragged Island at 88 degrees. Auckland and Betsy Bay at 89, Matthewtown, Inagua at 86 degrees, and for the Turks and Caicos Islands, 91 degrees. If you're planning to head out on the water, here's your boating forecast. In the northwest Bahamas tonight and tomorrow, winds will be light and variable with flat seas. High tide will be at 7:39 tonight and again at 7:59 tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, in the southeast Bahamas, winds will be a bit stronger out of the southeast at 10 to 15 knots, with seas running 2 to 4 feet. Our satellite picture this evening shows mostly cloudy skies over parts of the northwest Bahamas, with some pockets of showers and thunderstorms developing across the extreme northern islands. So what can you expect tonight? A temperature of 79 degrees, a thunderstorm this evening, but otherwise partly cloudy and warm, and tomorrow 89. A thick cloud cover with a couple of showers. Now, looking ahead at your extended forecast, showers and thunderstorms will be on and off throughout Sunday, then a little break. We'll see some sun peeking out during the the first half of next week, but by the second half, conditions turn cloudy again with scattered showers and more thunderstorms returning. So best to keep that rain gear close by. You're definitely going to need it again. Back to you, Desmond.
Thanks, Dan. And before we wrap up tonight, don't miss the rebroadcast of Up Close with Dr. Deborah Bartlett, airing Monday, September 8th, 2025 at 3 p.m. right here on ZNS Television. A special guest, wife of the Prime Minister, Lady Anne-Marie Davis, opening up about her mission to champion gender equality in the Bahamas. It's a powerful, must-see conversation. Make sure to tune in. That ends the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information, as only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. On behalf of the entire team, thanks for watching. Have a good night.